sex offender, a child sex offender, dressed up like a girl, re-did those kids. That was probably not the best thing we could do, and we're sorry. That was great. They nailed it.
Soy Boy Chloe is 110% organic, non-GMO, gender misogynistic identitarian.
And there's no need for anyone to think that is unacceptable. We're going to shut them down and work with whoever it is to shut them down, and they should be prosecuted. You cannot intimidate members of Congress.
Excuse me. Welcome everybody. It's going to be a fun show tonight. It's just going to be me, special guest. I was going to have one rational wrong think, not make it. We're going to have a good show. Have some interesting articles to cover, interesting points to talk about. So we'll kick it off here in about 5 minutes. Thank you, Lacey PC, for the donation. If you guys don't mind thumbing it up and sharing it out all over the place on your wherever you social media at. Got some good things to talk about tonight. I'm not gonna respond to that. I already used too many words. I was told by my handler, don't talk on this because I will shove my foot in my mouth. Just don't do that. Just move on. Just move on. It's dumb. How could you even think that just because I was in charge of policy with the Ukraine as vice president, and just because I actually told the government that if they didn't fire the prosecutor that was looking into the company that my son was involved in, and he was getting paid $50,000 a year, and he didn't know jack diddly dick about this job, how could you think for a minute that was inappropriate or that I did anything wrong? Even though I sat and I bragged about the fact I got this guy fired, and I told him I wasn't going to give him money unless they did what I said, how can you think that I did anything wrong? This is just such a dumb question. And it became Believer Entertainment. And all these other social media platform people say they struggle with figuring out where the line is and how to, we remove hate speech, but we also want to promote free speech discussion. It's very simple. It's very simple. All you got to do is follow the Constitution. Follow the Constitution. Follow the Bill of Rights. Follow the First Amendment. Be elected president. She says, Senator Kamala Harris said that if she is elected president, she will give Congress 100 days to act on gun control. If they don't, she'll take matters into her own hands, she said during the CNN town hall. Wow, that doesn't sound like a dictatorial response, right? That doesn't sound like a very democratic position to have. Note, the Democrats months ago were saying there was no crisis at the border. Now read the headlines. There's a crisis at the border. Anyway, evil piece of crap. All right, let's move into the dehumanization stage, right? drop the end. I'm just jumping in. Early Sunday, a shooter opened fire in Dayton, Ohio, killing 9 people in the city's Oregon district, a popular downtown area. 2 freaking conservative tweets. So there's this sweet little article. It says campus police chief. Pretty interesting that we can compare these 2 different shootings because they happen so closely. I have 2 minutes and 38 seconds. So here we go. Right, which helped, as she's going to mention here, black and brown people. So we won't get into that either, but I'd like to just make that note that that's just hours before on Saturday, a shooter opened fire at an El Paso, Texas shopping center, killing at least. There's an issue of corruption in New York State, and there's an issue of corruption in New York State. That's right. So apparently, Snapchat is stepped on the social justice warriors' ding dongs or peanuts or what have you. Apparently, Snapchat's new gender swap filter is causing problems for the social justice warriors. Snapchat's bothering warriors. An anarchist.
All right, about ready to start.
Anarchist,
Guys, hear me all okay out there?
It's become a religion. It's quite
In a
literally
wonderful
religion.
world.
I know religion. I was raised in the church.
The interwebs.
Bible college, my degrees in theology. I know religion, but the other one who just killed a couple more people.
Kick this off here in just. I'm gonna let that countdown go. So just stick around. It's gonna be fun. Somebody said they wish I wouldn't start until I started or something. Then a comment like, "Well, you haven't been watching SJG that long. We seem to have a lot of little issues when we kick it off in the first thing here." Does that go right into my discussion view? It does. I don't have to switch it over. I thought I might have to switch. Hello, everybody. Welcome to SJG Perspective. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out with me tonight. If you guys don't know, please go and check out my website, sjgperspective.com, and subscribe there. You can subscribe on YouTube and other places. And big announcement, I am monetized. Yeah, I know YouTube's been glitchy. It's crazy. I thought there was something a little wonky going down with it. So earlier when I was trying to watch something on there, so I do know what you mean. It's been a little haywire, and I was thinking to myself, going, "Oh man, I wonder if this is the first glitches of taking YouTube down." They're gonna do that to save everybody from all the lies and I wonder if this is the first different whatnot that's on there. As you guys can see, I had to pull my actual site up here and take a look for the first time. As you can see down in your left-hand corner or within the chat there is my whatchamacallit, the monetization. I got it, guys. I finally got it, which is pretty cool. I'm gonna pop this part of the chat out so I can see. Not that I expect to get or I'm asking for any super chats, but I just wanted to be able to see what it looks like now that I'm going live for the first time ever since I've been monetized. So pretty awesome. I gotta say, I'm pretty excited about that. That's kind of cool. I won't stay monetized. Let's not pretend. I'm not going to stay monetized for long. We all know that. I will for sure be demonetized soon. But my whole goal was to make it there, and I did it. So I'm pretty happy about that. But I don't foresee it staying up in the long run. But I also want to see if you had the option to join. Does anybody out there, can you tell me, is there like a join button? I don't know if I've gotten the membership. I probably haven't gotten the membership thing yet. So anyways. Wow, tonight, as the title said, it said Diet of Lies. Diet of Lies. And I really feel like that's kind of the world in a lot of ways that we have been living in, man. We've been living in the old diet of lies. And it's time to wake up. It's time to start eating some truth, if you will, and start waking up to some uncomfortable facts. that, I mean, we've seen with this election. Now, I have said, I've gone on the record and said I'm going to wear some underwear on my head if Trump pulls this out. I want to be wrong. I want to gleefully be wrong. I would like to see, I'm still caught in that the dissonance a little bit, man. I would like to see him back in the office opposed to Biden. But I don't really know if that's going to happen. But then again, if that's what the deep state wants to happen because they want to cause real turmoil and real stress and real division, that's probably what will happen. I don't know. I'm done playing with the crystal ball. But all I know is that maybe maybe this is a good thing of the awakening. Maybe finally people will start to wake up and realize that we have been living a bit of a lie. We've been living a bit of a lie, and we don't and we shouldn't live this lie anymore, and we should figure out how we change it, if we change it, because the world is changing at a very rapid pace. There's so many different things we could cover. Half of the time I don't even really know exactly where to start or what I want to touch on. But tonight we're going to touch on some stuff surrounding the COVID when it comes to testing, some blatant revelations on the testing that show that it's bunk. We've all known that, but there's some more, it's blatant. Fauci himself said it, and the CDC confirmed it. The CDC has done some flip-flopping again today or yesterday on masks and on mask wearing, and if you should or shouldn't wear it and wear them, or some information on masks. They flip-flopped again on that. The vaccine is out. It's 90% effective. We're going to cover that and show you just how shallow a claim that truly is. I just heard today and saw today that that they said Ticketmasters is not going to let you go to a concert or buy tickets unless you can show proof that you have the vaccine or you've had a negative test within 3 days of the concert. It's coming. The mandatory vaccines that everybody told us wasn't going to come, that it wasn't ever going to be mandatory, they're coming. And if they can't mandate it through the government, they'll mandate it through the arm of the government, which is corporate America, which has truly become the cronyism of it's been that way for a long time, but the cronyism of America and the corporations, they will make it a mandate. They will make it so you can't go into their supermarkets or into the big box stores or into wherever unless you have it. They'll crack down on the small businesses and say we'll revoke your, thank you for the ice cream, Putnam. We'll revoke your business license if you don't mandate people have their vaccine to come in and patronize your business. They've done it with masks, right? They will do that. That is what's coming unless somehow, some way, we say that now, Mohammed, they truly, we say that now, but the sad part is Ticketmaster knows. Go outside and take a look around and see how many people are wearing masks. And that's all you got to notice to see that people are going to capitulate to it. The only way we stop this is if we all kind of do what they're doing in the UK and marching shoulder to shoulder in the streets, protesting the lockdowns. If we can all come together, right, left and right, those stupid paradigms that we have to get out of our minds, we've got to try to get back to caring about freedom. Even if, and we're going to read an article that basically says tonight, I don't agree with everything it says, but the overall premise of it, I think, is a good shaker for our brain. That says how we've really been living a lie, and even if we've lived the lie of the Constitution not really being our Constitution and our rights really not applying to us, and we can make a lot of arguments how on paper we have rights, but in reality it's the elite and it is the protected class that has all the rights, and the worker class, the worker bees, really don't. It's definitely something that people are. If we don't all wake up together, we're going to go down together. Mohammed Aloha Snack Bar. And then I think what I'll do is I'm going to open it up and we're going to take some calls tonight because I just kind of want to lay back. We're just going to flow tonight. I'm just going to kind of flow and go over some stuff. We're just going to have a hangout stream. So I'll take some call-ins tonight. What is my call-in number? Hang on one second. Let me get that for you guys. Put it up in the chat. I should write that thing down. I just don't use it enough. Hang on a second. Just wait for me, and I'm going to put that number out there, and then people can call in here, and we can have a chat. We can chat a little bit. That'll be fun. So you can, Mohammed Aloha Snack Bar, you can call in if you want to rant a minute. Can't do it quite this second here. Let me write this number down. Wait for it. Okay, that's right. 321836663. Okay. I'm going to put my number up in the chat. And this is how we're going to do on calls tonight. When you want to call, I need you to text me. And that's how you're going to queue yourself up. You're just going to text. And then what we're going to do is we're going to, I'll call you. So that way, because I don't have a phone tree, so I am the phone tree, essentially. That's how I'm going to try to do this and see how it works tonight. Hopefully it works good. And I can, just go down the calls. So here is going to be the call-in number. Right there is the call-in number. 218-503-218-3663. But don't call in yet. Can I get you from the other spot? I got you from the other spot. Yeah. So anybody who wants to call in can call in on this when I give you the go-ahead. You're going to text me to that number, and I will call you back, and we will chat. So before we do any of that stuff, though, why don't we jump on here and do a little, wait for it. I think it's a really good time for... Yes, this is what it is. Oh man, me checking to see if the Civil War started yet. That's kind of funny, but it's increasingly every day becoming more of a reality. It's true. It's true, Aloha. Very true. Okay. If you are okay with Facebook and Twitter fact-checking posts, then you should have no problem with the United States of America fact-checking votes. God, I love memes. They break it down. They break it down so easily and into such a digestible format for you to really get bigger ideas, bigger, deeper, more complex ideas boiled down. Obviously, there isn't all the nuances on those, but you get the point, man. It's so great. So great. I love them. Love me some memes. Meme time with Steven. All right, here we go. Another one. So the guy who couldn't draw 12 people to a rally somehow got more votes than any president ever? Again, nailed it. Nailed it. It's the little things like this that make you go, yeah, God, man, we've really been screwed. We've really been screwed over. But it's okay in some ways as long as we learn from it. As long as we don't stay in this paradigm or in this fog of thinking that the reality is that we live in a completely free and fair country, and that we have free and fair elections. I'm sorry to break it to you. We need them, and we need to fix the system, but the system's broken now, and the system has been broken for a very long time. A very long time. And this most recent election has put a shining spotlight on that like no other. Now, why they want to do that, the deep state can't be that stupid. I think they want to show their cards because they just don't care anymore. They realize they have got everything in place to where the fighting back is, well, it's tough. Truth fears no scrutiny. True, Kraken, true. Very good point. Okay, next one. Voter fraud. It's a donkey, obviously. We see the donkey, and the doctor says, you've got 20/20 vision, because the donkey says, it says voter fraud there for my listeners on my podcast. and it says Biden. It's a vision test. Biden wins. You've got 20/20 vision. God, these are just so. It's just. I wish I would have thought of that. That's a good one. It's funny. This is funny. This is. Forgot this cartoon. I don't watch them, but it's. I know that it's on the top of my tongue. It doesn't matter. The election. Let's go in and out. A one-night adventure. They go into the wormhole. The American people 2 months later, still stuck in this, and that's probably. I mean, yeah. Don't think we're gonna know anything before January. Yeah, I think it goes past the 14th. This thing's gonna just keep going and fighting. It's gonna get ugly. It's gonna get really ugly. It's just now starting. It's just now really gonna start kicking off. It hasn't really even kicked off yet, to the point it's gonna. So hold on to your butts. Dead people voting. It says, "We did it, Patrick. We did it, Patrick. Yay! We had a fair election." That's my SpongeBob. It's probably pretty bad. Mass ballot harvesting. 100,000 Biden votes found overnight. Dead people voting. Arizona called prematurely. Sharpie gate. Typos. Destroyed found ballots. More votes for Biden than Obama. Accepting mail-in ballots late. Nevada not counting until November 12th. You're welcome. Welcome to America. You're welcome. Oh, this is. I love this one. This is so good. This is another one of those bite it in small, break it down into, small bite-sized pieces, and you have got what the truth truly is. It says 2016, Russia interfered in the election. 2020, how dare you question the integrity of the election? Democrats, 2016, Russia interfered in the elections. Democrats, 2020, how dare you question integrity of the election? What more do you need to say? It's true. This is funny. These say Biden ballots, right? It's a big warehouse of Biden ballots. Okay, this is from South. This is like a South Park characters. It's so great. It says, what the fuck? I hope this isn't what it looks like. He's looking into a whole bunch of Biden ballots. The guy goes, "Yep, it's definitely a noose." You gotta laugh a little bit. Gotta laugh a little bit. And just like that, Facebook lost 70 million subscribers. You know what? It's true. And this has been another, and that's going to lead us to a next point, but this has been another quick little episode of Bean Time with Steven. Now, that leads me to my next point that I mentioned in the beginning. We're going to do some chat room shout outs here, but then also here's a reminder. Please go to sjgperspective.com and subscribe, because YouTube and the big tech oligarchy, technocrats, they don't like independent content creators. They don't like us. They've been purging us and shutting us down, and they're going to do that. But if you go to sjgperspective.com and subscribe there, then I can have your email address and we can stay in contact. And no matter when and if YouTube shuts me down, we'll be able to stay in contact. And on there's merchandise, and there's my schedule, and my show notes, what I covered in the show, videos, blog. So it's pretty cool. So go to sjgperspective.com and subscribe today. All right. Okay, so a few shout outs here. We got Rebel Jack and Lisi PC, Mohammed Aloha Snack Bar, the Kraken. Got Fort Putnam in. I want to say thank you to all that. We got nothing really great here. Chat room shout outs. You want to get donations then to demonetize you and take full cut. They want you to get the donations. Yeah, that's probably true. They're going to want to monetize me, get me some donations, and then they'll kick me out. Mohammed Aloha Snack Bar said Ticketmaster clearly does not want to make money. Mohammed. Can I get you from the other spot? Yeah. All right. So you guys got my number. Nothing major to call out there in the chats right now. Kind of a slow night too. That's okay. Do we have anybody that wants to talk? If you guys want to talk, go ahead and text me now and I'll give you a call back. go ahead and text me now, and I'll give you a call back. I will do a quick. Let me do this real fast before we go to the first little article I want to touch on. Segment discussion. Yeah, so we'll do this here. Okay. All right, so I'm going to do a quick. There we go. I don't know if I want to do a 3-minute break right now. With Rational, just got you guys in here. All right, so let's do this here. Let's go into let's go into some calls. So I will take a 60-second timeout and get somebody queued up that wants to call in. I'm not chatting. I'm some ham. That's all good. No worries, Lisa Peasy. No worries. Let's take a quick break here, 60 seconds, and maybe we can get some people locked up in the chat to call in.
It's a baking crumb by Chelsea's Boys.
Imagine an audio collection of parody songs designed to trigger the safe place snowflakes of the most easily offended among us. Experience one of the best collections in conservative parody troll musical range. Direct from SJG Perspective Productions comes the Patriot Parody Troll Leftist Aneurysm-Inducing Collection. Have a laugh with Ice Ice Baby. Daily and nightly, will it ever stop? Yo, and ponder the truth of media lies with Tell Me Lies. You might need to take a shower after listening to Super Correct. No other collection will bring joy and tears of laughter to the ears of the conservatives, while simultaneously bringing tears of frustration and anger to the SJWs and the leftists among us. To receive your collection, like, share, and subscribe to SJG Perspective and receive access to this content and much, much more. Don't wait, it could disappear at any moment. Subscribe today.
Oh, yes. Subscribe today. Don't be scared. Do it. SJG Perspective. Well, it looks like we don't have anybody in the call chat yet. Runs amok for 60 seconds. So lines are blowing up. We got some open lines here on Open Line Wednesday with SJG Perspective. Feel free to call in. Give me a little text, and I'll call you back. Hot like a rocket. It'll happen. But that sounds weird. Hot like a rocket. But since I don't have anybody there yet, why don't we jump into one of the first articles that I wanted to talk about, which I thought was extremely interesting. Yeah, so we want to do this one right here. Boom. Shakalaka boom. Okay. So, guys, the first thing of our lives is this whole pandemic, this whole scamdemic, right? This whole pandemic, scamdemic. I'm trying to do it through Hangouts. Oh, you're trying to do it through Hangouts. Okay. Hang on a second, guys. I got somebody who wants to work outside the box. I see. So let me, I guess we'll jump into that in a second here, because I have someone who's wanting to jump in on Hangouts. So we'll just, we'll call him up. It needs to be inverted. So then I call, and he doesn't answer. Oh, there he is. Aloha Snack Bar.
Oh, hold on 1 second.
Oh, it's been many moons, my friend. Many, many moons. I'm holding for you, and so is the rest of our audience. Aloha. Are you still with me? Oh man, these Arabs, these crazy Arabs. You just can't.
Sorry, I was getting headphones, my friend.
Oh, okay. You scared me when you started to say. Never mind. It's okay. We won't go there. It's a family show. You're getting phones. I'm glad you added phones on the end of that because I thought you were just going to stop at something else. This is a family show, though. Aloha. How
You know.
how have you been? You're a little glitchy there, my friend. How you been?
Hold on. I will switch to the correct Wi-Fi to make sure that good signal.
Okay.
Hold on. Do you?
I can still hear you. Yeah, at this point.
Oh, okay. It's no problem. Oh,
Sometimes you almost sound like you're a Russian Muslim.
I'm from North. I am from North area.
Oh, okay. I wondered about that sometimes. It's almost as if
It is northern Afghanistan, Habibi.
okay. Okay, that makes a lot more sense actually. I'm glad you cleared that up because that actually makes more sense. So you said you have a problem with some of this Ticketmaster stuff that's bothering you. So tell me about that.
Listen, I'm not gonna do the accent anymore just because.
Okay.
No, it was something that you had said about people basically conforming, right?
Yeah.
And I just had this conversation. I kind of had a heated conversation with some conservative friends of mine that have all been very vocal about mask mandates, yet these are the same idiots that will go out and wear masks, right?
Right.
And I told them, I was like, listen, you absolutely have no right to complain about mask mandates when you are part of the problem. If there's not enough people to stand up against this BS, then you're just going along with it, and they can see they can do it now. They can quite literally get the whole entire populace to wear freaking masks because they said so.
Yeah, exactly. And they said so over something that is some of the most it's when you just do, and most of the people won't do this, but when you just do a little tiny bit of research, a little tiny bit of digging, you start this whole scam unravels itself. I used to think it was
absolutely.
I thought it was cheesy to call it the scamdemic for a while. I was like, guys, I mean, but it truly is, man. It truly was a plan. It was planned. It was a plandemic, and it's a complete scam. It's a complete.
It worked,
and it
worked,
and they know that.
It worked.
Yeah, it worked.
Absolutely worked. Absolutely worked. And you've got I mean, I'm telling you, like a lot of my conservative friends want to talk a bunch of shit, and I go, listen. Oh, can I swear on this family program?
You can.
Anyways,
It's PG-13.
Oh, okay. Well, I can say shit then, and I think we can talk about anal sex now too. That's PG-13.
I'm pretty sure
but seriously though, the truth is if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. Quite literally, I haven't worn a mask yet, right? And you know the shit that was going down in Michigan here, right? And all the crazy shit we've been dealing with, you know. And I've had no issues going in and out of stores so far. I mean, I've gotten some dirty looks, but you know what? Whatever. I don't really care. Yeah. I've had people try and stop me at the door. I'm like, listen, bro, I'm coming in. There's nothing you can do, but you want to call the cops? Call the cops.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm quite willing to, if Biden does get the ticket, to go to jail over this if he tries to do a mandate. You know what I mean? Yeah. If he tries to do some sort of mass mandate, I will go to jail. I will be a fucking martyr. Oh, that was over PG-13. Anyways, I will make an example of myself just because of what I believe in. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous to just go along. Well, it makes my day go by easier, and you know, I just don't want to hassle with it. Like what they're doing here is they're taking names and numbers at restaurants now to do contact tracing for anybody that goes into a restaurant. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, really? Yeah, I'm not giving you my and literally our state has literally told these restaurants, well, if they don't give you the name and number, you can use the credit card receipt as information for us to get a hold of them. Quite literally,
that's what they said. You should just.
That's what I do. I'm a cash only kind of person, but the point is every person that has put a mask on that's been bitching about the masks are part of the issue that we're dealing with right now. And it's the same reason that we are in this position in this country right now with everybody, all these people that wouldn't speak up and just said, well, honestly, most conservatives are like about the individual, right? You know, you do you, I do me. The problem is everybody has been so complacent in that sort of mindset. They didn't speak up soon enough, and quite literally, we're at this point with the election,
No, you're right.
with the masks, with all that stuff, and it's really been kind of barreling down here, and this is kind of coming to a head, like you said. It just it really grinds my gears. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do know what you're saying, and the crazy part is, I mean, so for my work, I have to wear a mask when I go to work, right? Because I'm outside sales, so when I'm going out to customer sites or I'm cold calling, I got to put a stupid mask on. So I do it for my job right now, for my family. But when I'm at home and I'm going in, there'll be certain places, maybe I kind of put it on for a minute just because I don't, either if I care about the business, if it's a small little business, and sometimes I've done it, but more and more lately, I have not done it. And it's weird because since I have to wear one for work and everything, I have even gotten to brainwashed to the point where I feel naked when I walk in a store without it. And I feel like, oops, you kind of have that naked feeling. But this was the mask I used to wear all the time. I don't know if you can see it. You'll see it.
Yeah, it's like
my netting.
A netting.
Yeah, exactly. Right. This is my, it's for like, I got it when I went to a store. It's a beard mask. So when you walk around a bakery, you can, and I have literally, this was the one I had forever, a different one, just like it. And I've been starting to wear this again when I go out to say, okay, you want me to put a mask on, motherfucker? Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're right. We're not. This isn't a family show. Who am I kidding?
It's not even NC-17 anymore. Jesus.
I was like, I'm just like, you want me to put a mask on? Okay, I'll put one on but this is even almost more of a FU because people know I'm trying to make a point with this, where it's like, before people are like, oh, he's just not smart enough to wear a mask. It's like, no, you want me to wear a mask. I'm going to make a point to all of you guys how stupid this is. You know what I mean?
Well,
so that's
I at first, like here with the mask mandate, everybody must wear a mask to come in. And I'm like, bro, so I'm going to wear flip-flops and a mask around my junk. Okay. And I'm wearing a mask. You know what I mean?
Right.
I wonder how that would go over, or I'll put it on my arm. Look, I'm wearing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I made the decision that I just wasn't going to comply at all.
Yeah.
At any point. To me, it's, for the elderly people and the people that have to worry about it. Yeah, I get it. You know what I mean? You are at that top tier of people that are, getting messed up with this. But overall, the numbers, how they keep skyrocketing, like you said, for your work, right? I get that. But I just bought a new car, right?
Yeah.
I made those assholes jump through hoops so I could buy that car, and I did not have to wear a mask at any point going into that dealership. I made them bring the paperwork out to me. I made them escort me through the side of the building to go sign the docs. Like, I did not wear a mask at all. I'm like, you know what? If they're gonna try and do this, I'm like, these people want a sale, right? So they're gonna do whatever they have to do to get it, and they did, and it just proves my point.
Well, here's one of the articles I was in, and I'll just talk to you. Well, can you see my screen? Are you looking at my screen?
Yeah, I can.
Oh, okay,
I can see. Okay. I see double screen. Oh, actually, I think I see you, and then I see a little screen on the bottom with a freeze frame of you. I don't know what that is.
So I just came across this article. I've been following The Last American Vagabond and Whitney Webb and Ryan Christensen from The Last American Vagabond, and they're nonpartisan. Ryan is not they're very much more like original anarchists, not like the anarchists with black masks on in the streets, but they're much more like the James Corbett of the world, the Corbett Report. Those are the guys I'm really starting to listen to, and I'm finding way more interest in listening to than just regurgitating everything that every other YouTuber's talking about, or regurgitating the mainstream talking points of the mainstream media, right or left. I'm just kind of over that, and I kind of want to expand my mind. So I've been reading some of their stuff, and it's just been opening my mind more to really what's going on. It's bringing me back to the time I was back in 2012, whatever it was. But Anyways, this article here, he talked Ryan Christian from The Last American Vagabond. You guys should all go subscribe. He just got removed from YouTube and all that, but he did start a backup channel. Anyways, this is something he talked about, and I went out and found this article from the Global Research, which is I think they have a lot of like actually far left progressives that write for this paper too, but which, you know, you just kind of have to understand what you're reading, and you know, just like anything, you're not going to agree with what everyone has to say. But anyways, it says this guy put up this article. It's John Rappaport. Smoking gun. Dr. Fauci states COVID test has a fatal flaw. If you've been following this, you know it, but this was the most clearly spelled out. Confession from the beloved expert of experts. So check this out. It says, right from the horse's mouth, right from the man we were told is the #1 COVID expert in the nation, what Fauci says is the golden truth. Well, how about this? July 16th, 2020 podcast, This Week in Virology, Tony Fauci makes a point of saying that PCR COVID tests is useless and misleading when the test is run at 35 cycles or higher. A positive test indicating infection cannot be accepted or believed. Here in TechnoSpeak is an excerpt from Fauci's key quote, starting at about the 4-minute mark. So I actually downloaded this video because YouTube is purging videos that have any, they'll just disappearing. So if you can find them, I download them. I downloaded this one. We're not going to watch the video where he says it. I went and listened to it. You take my word for it. He said it. But he goes, if you perform the test at a cycle threshold of 35 or more, the chances of it being replication confident, also known as accurate, are minuscule. You almost never can culture viruses, which is to detect a true positive result, from a 37th threshold cycle, even a 36th threshold cycle. So each cycle of the test is a quantum leap in amplification and magnification of the test specimen taken from the patient. So if you take a test specimen from the patient, you test it, every time, or a cycle is every time that thing gets amplified, or a leap in amplification or magnification. Too many cycles and the test will turn up all sorts of irrelevant material that will be wrongly interpreted as relevant. That's called a false positive, which we all know these PCR tests have a very, very, very high false positive test. A note also with this, how all you're hearing about right now is cases are going through the roof because they're getting us ready for the dark winter. They're getting us ready for lockdown 2.0. It's already slowly rolling out everywhere. Partially, this is a side note, I think they're wanting to get everyone back indoors because they know shit's going to get really crazy. So they want to start pulling people back inside the homes. So it's a little more, the craziness is a little more manageable. But then that also goes against the other side of my mind that says, if the deep state really does want to actually honestly give this back to Trump after they've set the narrative with their media wing of telling everybody that Biden won it, if they really want ultimate chaos in America to help America crumble and fall, right? If that's really what they want, then they're going to give it back to Trump so that the riots will completely break out and there'll be a complete and total civil war and breakdown in society. That's kind of where I'm juggling these thoughts in my head. So going back to my point of putting everyone back in their house with a lockdown to keep the riots controlled a little bit, I don't know if that's true. But anyways, like I said, my ADHD kicked the ass on that one. What Fauci failed to say on the video is that the FDA, which authorizes the test for the public use, recommends that tests should be run up to 40 cycles, not 35. So the CDC is giving out all of the recommendations to all of the places in the country, the medical shops and the medical, clinics in the country that are testing. They're giving out the CDC guidelines, and the CDC guidelines says you can cycle it up to 40 cycles to get a positive test. And Dr. Fauci, the doctor of Dr. Fauci's, the trust the science, everyone said Dr. Fauci, has just come out and said if you're above 35 cycles, it's pointless. It's pointless because you're going to get a false positive. It's a pointless test at that point. Right here, it's the little drops of wisdom like this that make the whole effing pyramid crumble. It makes the whole pyramid crumble when you think about these things. It says, wow. So the CDC guidelines are you can run it up to 40 cycles, and Dr. Fauci is saying anything over 35 cycles is a worthless test, and then the media and everyone's covering how cases are exploding. Cases are exploding. And then I know you probably have some thoughts on this, but I have one more point to tie to this. Then if you tie to this whole debacle, what Dr. Michael Ryan from the World Health Organization said 3 weeks ago, and I did a video on it, and I played the video and I played the recording from Dr. Michael Ryan, one of the head scientists and doctors. He's that Irish dumbass that works for the World Health Organization. He came out and said 10% of the population, the global population, has been infected with, by their best estimates, has been infected with COVID-19. That is 780 million people, roughly. And we're told that it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 million people that have caught the COVID, and 1 million have died. So if you are talking 780 million people have caught it, it puts it right in line with, wait for it, the flu. 0.00.
No.
Yes. Yeah,
No.
I know. That's a shocker.
No.
Yes.
I don't believe you.
I know you don't, and it's because you don't believe in science and math. That's why you
I am
don't.
a science denier. I am.
So if you take things like that, and those are just two examples, and then also like Ryan Christensen from the Last American Vagabond, he has got list after list after study after study after scientific study about the uselessness of masks. We are so being fucking lied to, and now they come out. Now they just come out, and this goes full circle to what we brought my friend Mohammed on for. I almost gave up your real name. I almost gave up your real name, which would have been bad. So is the whole thing is that the vaccine, right? The article that just came out that said the vaccine is 90% effective, right? We're going to touch on that next. I'm going to explain. It was part of the thing I'm going to talk about tonight. What that 90% means. It's going to blow your effing minds when you understand how they came up with 90% effective and what their efficacy is actually what they're judging for that. But the whole
I
thing is,
haven't read it yet. But I believe I already know where it's going, so I'm excited.
yeah. So yeah. Okay. Well, here, let me jump into it. Right. Where's there's my notes at? 90% of it. So we all saw this. I'll just pull this up real quick. We know this. It's came out. It's been all over the news. Pfizer says trial shows its COVID vaccine is more than 90% effective. 90% effective. Can you believe that? Is amazing. And then what? I don't want to play Sleepy Joe. That's a 3-minute video. We're not going to do that. U.S. drug maker Pfizer said Monday that the human trial suggests its coronavirus vaccine is 90% effective at preventing COVID-19 infections in people not known to have had the virus already. The pharmaceutical giant said it would be applying for emergency use authorization from the FDA as soon as final data meets safety milestones. Safety milestones, which it expects Yeah, you're going to laugh your ass off in a second. You're going to laugh. Wait till you hear what they say with their safety. It's got to meet safety milestones, which expects to happen in the next third week of November. Okay. So
is that OSHA compliant? Okay,
it's so not OSHA compliant. So, jumping over to this article here, COVID-19 vaccine protocols reveal the trials are designed to succeed. I'm not going to read all this. I'm going to start reading down here where I highlighted it. I did highlight it. I highlighted it, and for some goddamn reason, my highlight's not there. Okay, so now I'm going to go back up to, I think I was, okay. Okay, so vaccine efficacy is typically proved by large clinical trials over several years. The pharmaceutical companies intend to do these trials ranging from 30,000 to 60,000 participants. This scale of study would be sufficient for testing vaccine efficacy. The first surprise found upon a closer reading of the protocols reveals that each study intends to complete interim and primary analysis that at most include, now wait for it, you might say, well, if normally they run 30 to 60,000, on 30 to 60,000 people over a few years, they're rushing this at warp speed, but they still got to get close. So they probably ran it on, 15,000 people, Stephen? And I'd have to say, nope, you are, if I was Bob Barker, you would be hearing the buzzer sound because you went way over. Yeah, I'm sorry. Thank you very much. You're way over budget at 15,000. Okay, I'm sorry. So maybe in this last year, they tested 5,000 people. Nope. Sorry, you're still too high. Oh, what? They probably tested, they would have had to test 1,000 people. Nope, you'd be wrong again. They tested. Yeah, there it is. 164 participants. The first surprise found upon closer 164 participants is what they got their 90% efficacy and safety tests from. That fake fucking news, ABCB, whatever the hell it is, just told you good news, a vaccine's coming out. Can you believe this shit?
Headline: 90% effective. We gave it to one person.
They only lost a foot. They only lost their foot. They're still pretty much okay. The companies likely intend to apply for...
The gentleman ended up with a Indian accent. We don't know how that happened, but
he's mostly okay. So the article goes on to read, these companies likely intend to apply for an emergency use authorization from the Food and Drug Administration with just their limited preliminary results. Interim analysis success requires 70% efficacy. So 70% is what you need to get. The vaccine or placebo will be given to thousands of people in each trial. For Moderna, the initial interim analysis will be based on results of infections of only 53 people for the Moderna one. They're based 53 fucking people.
Woo!
The judgment reached in interim analysis is dependent upon the difference in the number of people with symptoms, which may be mild, in the vaccinated group versus the unvaccinated group. It gets better. Moderna's success margin is for 13 or less of the 53 people to develop symptoms compared to 40 or more in their control group. For Johnson & Johnson, their interim analysis includes 77 vaccine recipients with a success margin of 18 or less developing symptoms compared to 59 in the control group. For AstraZeneca, their interim analysis includes 50 vaccine recipients with a success margin of 12 or less developing symptoms compared to 19 in the 25-person control group. Pfizer is even smaller in its success requirements, which is the one that just came out or is coming out. It says their initial group includes 32 vaccine recipients with a success margin of 7 or less developing symptoms compared to 25 in the control group.
That is some in-depth shit.
It is some seriously in-depth shit. So it goes on here and says the primary analysis are a bit more expanded, but need to be less efficacious for success. About 60%. AstraZeneca, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, and Pfizer have preliminary analysis that distribute the vaccine to only 100, 151, 154, and 164 participants, respectively. These companies state that they do not intend to stop trials after the primary analysis, but there is every chance that they intend to pursue an EUA and focus on manufacturing the vaccine rather than further thorough testing. Now, here's what you might think, okay, you do the math, it all works out. Well, when you break down to what it's actually even doing, what this vaccine is going to even do, it's even more interesting. These trials certainly do not give assurance that the vaccine will protect from the serious consequences of COVID-19. Johnson & Johnson is the only trial that requires the inclusion of severe COVID-19 cases, at least 5 of the 75 participants. One or more immediate questions a trial needs to answer is whether a vaccine prevents infection. If someone takes this vaccine, are they far less likely to become infected with the virus? ? These trials are clearly focused on eliminating symptoms of COVID-19 and not infections themselves. I want to reread that line.
Derp.
These trials are clearly focus on eliminating symptoms of COVID-19 and not infections. Asymptomatic infections is listed as a secondary objective in these trials when they should be of critical importance. I will have these in my show notes on my website so you go and read the full article. But that gives you the gist of this 90%, right? And Pfizer and how many people they tested it on and what they were even considering effective. That it just removed symptoms. It doesn't mean it removes you from getting infected from it. It just removes the symptoms of it. And they're rushing this through. And then there's other article there. I think it might be in this article, but if you dig into it, you find out that if you take the vaccine, one of the first people that are going to take it, you need to be tracked by them. You're going to be monitored, if you will, for up to 2 years. Why do you think they're monitoring you up to 2 years? To see what extra limb you grow or lose. That's basically what they're doing for the side effects of it. And we are jumping full stream ahead back into the Ticketmaster scenario. The Ticketmaster dumbass fucking America idiot morons that are buying into this shit. And like Mohammed has said, when we wear these stupid things, the real ones, we perpetuate this. They're coming full steam ahead. We've been lied to. It's all a bunch of shit and crap hole anyways, man. We need to wake up to this crazy assness. Okay.
And that I'm just trying to figure out why Campbell's Soup company hasn't chimed in and said, treating the symptoms, we've been doing that for 140 years. What's wrong with you?
Right? Oh man, it's a good point. You make a good point. Yeah, no, it's seriously insane what this all ultimately amounts to. You know, ultimately all this shit that amounts to. It's insane to me how many people are completely blinded by this. It's literally a freaking what's the word I'm looking for here? Well, it's a psyop, obviously, but it's just that brainwashing, you know, that wasn't the word I was looking for because that's an easy word to find, but it's literally brainwashing of all of us and we're playing along with it. And like I was telling my wife the other day and we kind of argued, but she agrees with me, but it's exactly what you said, Mohammed. John, I'll just call you by your real name. I can't do Mohammed. John. It's, you know, the real scenario is that if we all stood up, they couldn't fucking stop us. But we'd have to all do it together. We'd all have to do it together. And we'd all have to, like you said, there'd be a few that'd be willing to get arrested. But when they say close your businesses, like in the small towns like where I live, and everyone was like, fuck you. We're keeping our businesses open and we're putting on the sign that nobody's going to needs to wear a mask. Come on in. Come on in. This is bullshit. We're not going to capitulate. Do you think the state could come down, the state patrol, the military is going to roll up into our cell and close every fucking store down? No, they're not.
No,
they're not going to do it.
That's the point. It's the numbers are in the people's hands.
Yeah.
And that's what people need to freaking realize.
Yeah. I lost you. Hello? John, are you there?
They'll actually have...
Okay.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello? Breaker 19.
Yeah, I got you now. Okay. Go
the more people that actually stand up, the people have the numbers. That is how it always has been.
Yeah.
The problem is people are complacent. People are worried, and I get it. I get it 100%. You even said it. You wear your mask for work. I get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You gotta do what you gotta do to take care of your family and stuff. But at the same time, at what point? I've tried to explain this to so many people. I go, you know what? You might call me selfish, but you don't understand what I'm doing is actually helping you out in the long run. Because you think, oh well, if we just wear these masks, we get this over with already. I go, excuse me, is the flu still around?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but it's not the. Wait, hold on. Did the flu disappear? Did the flu disappear with vaccines?
No,
absolutely not. This, and look at how long it took to eradicate other things. 70, 80 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They act like all of a sudden we're going to get a vaccine and it's just going to be gone. You know, I'm like, listen, it's going to come back every single year, just like the flu does. And honestly, you're not stopping it. What I've said from day one is masks are a security blanket and stay-at-home orders are just delaying the inevitable. That's all these things are doing. They're slowing it down enough so that they can what? How long do you think it freaking takes? 5 to 7 years to get a viable vaccine for any freaking thing else, but all of a sudden we're going to push through a vaccine. Get the fuck out of here with that nonsense.
No.
And it's not that I'm anti-vaxxer, because I'm not. You know, I think vaccines have they're worth their weight in gold depending on what they're for. But the point is you can't push something out that fast and expect it to actually be
there is some vaccines
worth
that are
anything.
there are some vaccines that are worthwhile and good. Absolutely, I agree with you. But the vaccine industry, and they try to tell you that it's that the companies, these pharmaceutical companies, don't make any money at vaccines. That's one of the things debunkers will say against anti-vaxxers. Says the pharmaceutical companies have no interest in this. They're not making any money at it. It is absolutely not true. They make a shit ton of money on it. And right now, they have nothing to lose. They have zero skin in the game and zero neck on the chopping block. They have been funded from governments right and left and NGOs and all these other things to get to the Bill Gates cabal of the world to get this vaccine up and going. So they're not having to use their own money. And number one. Number two, they have got complete and total immunity. So if anything happens to anybody, like you lose a penis or you grow one on your forehead, right? They can't.
Can I get one that extends my penis? I mean, I would take.
No, those are different kind of pills you got to take.
Well, I mean.
But you can get those in China. They have some of those. You can get those, I think, mailed to you from China.
Just making sure. Because, I mean, if they advertise it that way, I'm sure they can get plenty of dudes to sign up. I'm just saying. Anyway.
I know, right? Oh, man.
It's just, to me, we're at a breaking point in this country. And
you cut out again. Right at the important part.
Wrapped up. What's that?
Now you cut out again though. I lost you for a minute, but now you're back.
Oh, who was it that you had on the other day?
I had Dustin was on Friday.
Dustin, yeah. You know, we could be coming to the end of the cycle, like he was talking about, and there's some other people that have been talking about this too. You know, in the social cycle and all this stuff, and that's definitely a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
But it just, I mean, everything that's going on right now, I look at, you know, people's kids and wonder what kind of hell are they going to have to live through.
Oh, I know.
If people don't get their shit together. And the funniest part is you'll even see left-wingers that are getting freaking nixed by their own people because every time I've explained this in, like with the masks and everything else, everything is leading up to this point. And even some of the more left-leaning folks are now getting, you know, exiled out of that liberal mindset group of people because they're even too extreme for that group now. So people are seeing the fruits of their the fruits of their loins and their desires as a liberal throughout the years coming to fruition in an issue that's even messing them up now, years later, way down the road. And they're going, well, I don't understand. I'm on your side. Well, guess what, buddy? You're not, because you perpetuated this whole mindset. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry, conservatives can be kind of fucking pussies when it comes to that, you know. And not because they are pussies, but because of the values of conservatism. You know what I mean? And
because we're not burn, loot murderers.
Correct. So when I use that in a loose term as far as pussies are concerned, because, you know, not that I want to alienate anyone or anything like that, because I consider myself, you know, pretty conservative. It's just that we're kind of the issue too. We're kind of the problem too. You know, it's them pushing and us not pushing back enough. And you know what? Even with Trump and all the issues that you may have with them and I may have with them, he kind of broke that mold. And, you know, there's always the conspiracies and the things that people talk about. And I know you're kind of getting into that realm of things and kind of expanding your thought process on that. But either which way it goes, as a country, it really did break the mold of what you know, he started a movement, whether it's, you know, placed or not, that that kind of shook shit up. You know what I mean?
No, I know. And whether, exactly. That's what I mean, things are getting completely shook up. And the way I want to burn it all down with the anger that I'm feeling is like, if they end up not giving it back to him, like he, you know, I mean, if he doesn't end up, if he gets it, if they end up giving it back to him because he won, we all know that. They've
Yeah.
been stealing it. I agree with you. I'm not saying that, but I think they're going to perpetuate the steal. But if they don't, if they get stopped and it gets back to him, we are months ahead of major chaos in our cities and in our country, and God knows how far it goes. And then this whole unity and peace mantra you hear from the left right now, if Trump gets it,
Get the hell out of here.
they're going to
Yeah.
be calling for secession of of Cascadia, of the Northwest states and California, which I'm getting out of here anyway, so I don't give a shit. I want out anyways. They're going to be calling for Puerto Rico to become a state. They're going to be calling for packing the courts. You think that Trump's being a poor loser right now? They are going to lose their shit if it gets reversed into Trump. You know, he gets the call.
Well, you know, the one saving grace is, you know, the House and the Senate right now too. I mean, as far as that goes, but I mean, the
But
biggest
why, dude?
thing.
You know, it's like what Robert says on that too. It's like, yeah, okay, if he gets in, he'll be a lame duck president. But the fucking shitty. That's the other thing about this whole thing that's pulling my eyes back to saying how rigged it all is. Because when we had Trump and we had the House and we had the Senate, what the hell did we do with it? Nothing is what we did with it.
Well, here's the deal, and I truly believe this 100%, because obviously, you know how our government's structured. You really need some sort of unity within the two of them to be able to really push through anything good. But as far as Trump is concerned, and the lack thereof doing some things that I believe should have been done, really comes down to making it concrete. As far as the way I saw it, you know what I mean? A lot of things can be penned in with an executive order, but that can be taken out in a second when somebody else gets in.
Yeah.
When you make it into law, it makes it a lot harder to actually, get rid of these things.
Yeah.
So obviously, we found that out with ACA. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
for sure. For sure.
It's a lot harder to get rid of things once they're actually passed into law. And that's kind of how I saw it the whole time. Was it wasn't necessarily a lack of trying, because even with everything that he put out in his campaign process, it wasn't a lot of stuff he put out. He said it, he did it,
Yeah.
And a lot of stuff was getting, stuffed up in places too, but it still wasn't a lack of trying. Now you also have some idiots that are, the rhinos and some of these
Stuff was getting stuffed
smile
up.
at your-
Wait, did
Yes.
you say like Stormy Daniels and stuff, or what?
yeah, but you didn't have to pay for it. It was free. It was free. And the point is overall, take him or leave him. Trump did some good things as far as I'm concerned, and it just they tried for 4 years to get the dude out. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
And-
yeah. I agree.
And in the end game for them was, well, that's why the push for the mail-in ballots.
Yeah.
That's why the push for this and that and all this other shit. So it was all planned.
Yeah,
it was all planned.
It was all planned, and it absolutely was all planned. Here's been my beef, and all my audience knows that if you're new here, my beef with Trump from this last year has been the thing that, as you can tell, I'm kind of passionate about when it comes to this vaccine and everything that from the contact tracing that goes along with it. By the way, dude, when you said they take your name and number down or your contact traced when you go to a restaurant, dude, we're already being, all the updates on our phone that we've all done, that's already all set up. When they already know, they're already contact tracing us if they really want to. They have our exact footprint of everyone, and they're going to be rolling it out in that once we get the vaccine going, that's when they're going to reveal that we don't need to be taking your name and number where you go, because we already know where you go, and we're keeping an eye on you. But my whole beef with him has been this vaccine and the people he's put around him and the swampy vaccine, deep, the medical martial law freakazoids he's listened to for too long. And that's really pissed me off about him. And it's really made me in some ways lose my respect for him. Having said that, I do hope he gets in the office for another 4 years, but there is some. I am watching him a little more closely, if I'm being honest, and being like, dude, I love that
Let me-
you're not. I love that you're not politically correct. I love that you push back when you get when someone comes at you. I love all of that about you. I appreciate that, but why are you pushing the vaccine as hard as you're pushing the vaccine? And don't give me the worn out story that he's not going to use it. That was a 4D chess move. He's not really going to force people. That's such bullshit. People, pull your heads out. That's the part where it makes me wonder whose side ultimately
I don't know.
he's really on.
I don't know about the whole pushing it to the point of mandatory. I kind of saw it as a move to try and buy some time for some shit possibly, but you do notice that the whole time that he's talked about it, at no point has he, I mean, he's talked about it, when he's, oh yeah, we've got a vaccine and, we're so close and da 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 da. I don't know if that actually kept anybody at bay, which it felt like that's why he was saying it most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we're close. I mean, we got a country that's being torn to pieces by the media machine that is literally, pushing out this narrative about this stupid virus that if you have half of a fucking brain and you look at the numbers, you go, oh man, that's really not that big of a deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But then they play so well at people's hearts. And I had this conversation earlier with a buddy of mine. He says, oh, my neighbor ended up with COVID. I said, how's she feel? She's fine. Oh yeah, well, there's a couple other people that were at a party with her last week. They got it too. I go, how do they feel? Fine. He's like, well, I'm 65. And he's like, I got underlying conditions. So now it's kind of starting to get freaky, because before he was like, fuck these masks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I told him, I go, listen, bro, I'll be honest with you. I get where you're coming from, but what kind of life are you living if you're in fear all day, every day for your life? I'd rather you go out smiling than hiding in your basement. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's my mantra on the whole thing. But it just doesn't make any sense as to why the vaccine is being rolled out so quickly regardless. And maybe that has something to do with Trump and his push, but I really don't think so.
Yeah,
I mean, they said they were working on that shit from day one. And honestly, we all knew they were. But
I mean, Lisi, I think it was Lisi PC, said on here, but we have both sides against it. I disagree with you on that. The left is against it right now because Trump was pushing it. As soon as Biden is in the office, they're going to be all for it. And then Trump supporters will not be, right now. And that's why Trump was coming in and saying he was trying to pull the people that naturally are going to be resistant to that, because the left is naturally going to be open to that. They're naturally ready to show you a vein and let you inject a needle. It was the right. That was like, hell no, you ain't going to put that in me, America. And so Trump was pulling those people along, which makes me suspicious. Like, why would you do that? Well, this is bullshit. Like, there's so many easy ways to debunk this, and it's bullshit. And now we have to have what about all the therapeutics that cleared up? What about the therapeutics that got me kicked off here not too long ago off of YouTube for a week and off of Facebook? I'm not going to mention it again, but...
fucking holistic shit and herbal shit, and that's been around for years.
How about the fact it's just as dangerous as the flu, according to the WHO? So yes, if you have underlying conditions and you're 65 or 70 years old, then every year it's a really bad flu. So you should be extra careful of it. But it's not anything like we should be worried about on any kind of level if you're normal, young, and healthy, right? So.
When you talk to, I haven't seen a lot of your feeds, like, and excuse me for that, but
glad to know you're a supporter.
I'm kind of busy doing some things.
Anyways, so did you ever touch on the fact that why you thought all the deaths were coming at the beginning and now we're not seeing them now? Did you ever touch on that theory or the why you thought that happened?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think I've talked about that ultimately a lot. I don't know if I've ever focused on that, but why? What is your thought on it?
Well, I mean, and I've had a lot of in-depth conversations with a lot of different people, and you know how at one point they were trying to kind of like round this virus off to being way worse on like African Americans and
Yeah, right.
such and such, and then it really all came down to because when this first hit, they had their first actual confirmed case after backlogging,
Mm-hmm.
and in California, I believe it was in October last year, was the actual first confirmed case in the United States. So that was well before the December 21st or whatever that number was when in Washington State. So we're talking like 2 months previous. But either which way, I think what happened with, and especially here in Michigan, because we had a lot of deaths in like the urban areas, Detroit, stuff like that, it has a lot to do with how people treat medical professionals and waiting too long. You know what I mean? A lot of it was folks not going in because they felt like they had the flu. And then they got so bad that they were at a point that it was irreversible.
Well, yeah, but I even think it's less than that. I think all of these have been so inflated, our death numbers, with people that were dying, and everything was called COVID. So I don't even
agree.
think those numbers are accurate to even really assess because they're so skewed that you can't trust them. So I mean, yeah. So
I mean, I have a lot of friends that are in the medical profession, and I was touching base with them throughout this whole craziness, the first round at least, and like kind of just getting a roll call, and it says, well, how's the hospital looking? Well, we're shut down. We're not doing any sort of operations, anything that is elective, and we're completely shut down for COVID only patients. And we have a COVID floor, and it's getting kind of full. But the more influx that we're seeing is the hype of everybody standing in line and flooding in because of the media hype. And he's like, that's why you were seeing so much news coverage on these hospitals are just over capacity and it's crazy. And,
right.
And really it wasn't, and it never was. We here in Michigan, we opened up 2 mock hospitals, cost millions of dollars, that was funded by the federal government, mind you, and our governor is a complete piece of shit. But she still wants to talk crap about him. But he funded both of those, and quite literally, one they funneled like 60 people into, and it was only for a couple of days, and I think it was just to save face. Millions and millions of dollars of these mock hospitals that they put up in 2 places in Michigan, and not really nobody went to them ever. We never went over capacity, even without any of the machines or the PPE or any of the bullshit that they were trying to push. We never ever hit capacity at any hospital in the state, not one.
Yeah. No, I agree, man. I agree. Well, I have got to, I'm going to round it off on that. That was a very good point to end it up on. I am going to, I always over prepare and under deliver, because I always like, oh, I'll get through these 3 topics, or I get through 1. I'm just like, so I need to just pare that back. It'll help my preparation, where I should just like think of, I'm only going to talk about 1 article, because knowing me, that's about as much as I can get through, in the amount of time I have on these nights. But, hey, John, do you want to, I'm doing it Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays every week now. And I'm setting up, guest lists. It was good, man. You were good tonight. Do you want to maybe come back next week if I plan ahead with you and you want to come on?
Yeah, we might be able to do it. I mean, just don't put me on with anybody like Roberts or anything. I'm not an intellectual like these folks. So
no, Robert.
I'll just be that. I'll be like the flavor. I'll be like the Flavor Flav of the thing. I'll be like, yeah, boy. I'll just be throwing out. That'll be my job. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, Robert, you right. I'll say shit like that.
Yeah. No, I'm trying to just do it with one-on-one. Maybe I'll have 2 guests on, but I feel like it's a better, like, you get too many people on and then it gets too messy to follow everyone. So.
Oh, yeah. Well, especially when you get 6 people on a freaking panel.
I know.
Insane.
Jeez, those are, those are crazy. But, well, everybody, I appreciate you guys hanging out and watching tonight. Had a good showing, you guys. It's great to have you on. I'll be doing it again on Friday night. Not sure who I have on there yet, but I will update it. If you go to sjgperspective.com and you go to my calendar, usually the night before I'll have it updated with my guest list. I'm trying to plan it out. I'm going to try to get it planned out a couple weeks in advance, but yeah, trying to get this thing moving in a consistent kind of format where you kind of know what's coming and how it's where we're going to go over. We're going to go over maybe 1 or 2 articles a night, maybe laugh at some memes, and then I'll have a guest on that, you know, we have a good conversation and fun stuff to talk about. So I appreciate all you guys hanging out. Please go to sjgperspective.com. And John, I appreciate you hanging out with me tonight too. That was fun.
La, 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 la.
Yeah, could you go tell could you maybe tell Muhammad to come back for a second and say goodbye? I feel rude if he wouldn't come back and say.
Habibi.
Muhammad, John hogged the mic that time, so we're gonna have to get you on for a portion.
John is asshole. He acts like jerk all the time. I swear for you, my friend.
But he helps you take care of your goats, so that's a win-win situation.
He does. He like very good goat herder, and sometimes he make eggs in morning for 36 kids.
Well, that's good, man. That's good that you have that many kids. Yeah, there's a lot I could say there, but I'm not gonna. But all right, guys.
It's funny because it's true. Oh,
all right, man. Well, hey, I appreciate everybody hanging out. It's been SJG Perspective without fear or animus, and we'll see you guys on Friday. You guys have a great rest of your week, and SJG Perspective. We'll see you then. Bye. And